Hi, and welcome to Artists and Crafts. I'm Piper, and I'm joined by Shiv today from Shiv and the Carvers. Each episode, a guest and I will discuss their newest release and make a little arts and crafts project. Today's prompt is permanence. So our watercolor painting will be inspired by the concept of permanence. Welcome, Shiv.
Wow, that's a heavy topic. Thanks for having me, Piper.
Tell us what's up in your life.
We have a new EP coming out March 14th. It's called Tell Me You Love Me Again, and it's our second EP. We're finishing up another music video for it. We're prepping the shows that are coming out in the spring, and we're playing Pooza in May, which just got announced. So lots of stuff happening. But right now, my only focus is this permanence watercolor.
Amazing. So we've got brushes here.
Sweet.
And water.
How do I do watercolor?
However you feel like it.
Do you dip it in the water and then you dip it in the color?
Water into the color and then onto the paper.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
No problem. So talk to me about roller derby. You met your bandmate Nicole through roller derby. You played for 3 years pre-pandemic, and you said that the team mechanics of derby are a big influence for how you guys play together and your chemistry. You've even described your music as roller skate punk. How is roller skate punk different from regular skate punk?
That's a great question, Piper. I'll start off by explaining roller derby a little bit more, or I guess explaining how I got into it. I was really interested in roller derby. I saw the movie Whip It when it came out, the movie with Elliot Page. I think that came out when I was in the 9th grade or something. And I really wanted to play derby at the time, but I was too young. And then I found a friend when I moved to Toronto who played, and they really convinced me to try it out, and I fell in love with it. It made me gain a lot more confidence in myself because I learned how to play this really hyper competitive fast sport with a lot of fast moving pieces, and you're thinking about strategy, but you're also able to be knocked over at any minute, which is really fun. And when the pandemic happened, everything kind of shut down, and I needed something to put all the energy and time that I've been putting into roller derby. And so I started making music, and with Android, we call her Nicole. She was playing guitar at the same time, and so it just kind of felt nice to be able to start doing that with her.
What is roller skate punk as opposed to just skate punk? Is it the femininity of it?
Yeah, I think I like to think about it like that, where it's the femininity and the aggression, and there are a lot of female skateboarders for sure, but just the space that Android and I come out of. We started doing roller derby and then we moved to park skating. It's watching the progression of that has been cool, and it's it's its own thing. So that's my long-winded answer to your question.
Would you take credit for inventing the sub-genre of punk? Did you invent roller skate punk?
Yes, I invented it. You heard it here first, folks. I invented roller skate punk.
Are there any other artists you can think of at the moment that could be described as roller skate punk?
Ooh, that's a good question. No, it's just us. We're singular, and we go down in history as the one and only right now.
So the lead single from this EP is called Danger Girl. You've said it's a queer love song, and what makes the titular girl dangerous is the inevitable heartbreak that comes with her. And even though her appearance is scarcely described, listeners fall in love with Danger Girl too. If I can't get a Danger Girl of my own, what can I do to become a Danger Girl?
Fearlessness, I think that's the key thing. Fearlessness in being who you are as a person. I wrote this song about my girlfriend Annie, who is the bassist in our band when we first started dating, and something I love about her is that she just is totally herself in every single way. Tattoos, they don't hurt either. Tattoos and piercings don't hurt. Playing an instrument doesn't hurt. But more, I think it's an attitude than anything else,
So I'm already, I'm getting there.
Yeah, you got tattoos, yeah.
One day.
You got a nose piercing, you got tattoos, you're already there. You can qualify. You're a danger girl.
Thank you. I feel blessed.
I'm now blessing you with the title.
Meltdown is a very vulnerable track in which you sing about the desire to make yourself small and convenient, easy to digest, which I think is a very universal experience for women and perhaps queer people as well. How do you rectify this desire for self-minimization and seclusion through the contrasting action of making it so public by putting it into a song?
Right. It's definitely a little weird for sure. For me, art is, I try and write about personal things, and I try and write about how I'm feeling And sometimes I feel, I get critical of myself and feel like it might be too whiny to express those feelings, but I'm not trying to write something for anybody else other than myself. That song in particular, I was just feeling really overwhelmed by like my brain, and I needed to just like get it out. And we were lucky enough that at the time Annie had just joined the band, and she added a lot of cool instrumental based stuff to like the end of it and helped build out this idea of like being the meltdown of the meltdown, like I think it's just trying to express the inner feeling in a way that is cool to yourself and the people around you. And that's what I try and like hold out.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful. Next question. I found myself using the adjective sexy to describe your work. I think it's lucky we live in a time and place where we can celebrate queer sexuality in music, and self-hypersexualization for a non-straight male audience might be one of the defining traits of 2020's music. As someone who makes hot music for the girls, gays, and theys, do you ever discourage your family from listening to your music?
Absolutely. I used to discourage them from listening to it. I actually had my mom blocked on Instagram for a while, but she's unblocked now, and she heard Danger Girl and she loved it and she thought it was really nice. They had a hard time understanding it at first, especially since I basically showed no signs of any sexuality in high school. Not only is that something that at least for me, I didn't really want to show my parents who I was dating or who I was interested in, but I also in high school didn't know that I was gay. I didn't come out until I moved to university. It was my own process outside of existing in their home, so they didn't really understand or see that. And so I think it was kind of abrupt for them to see it all of a sudden at once in a public way, or not public, just on the internet. Mm-hmm. I was nervous about it with employers as well, just because I work in a corporate environment as my day job, because you gotta pay those bills, and most musicians have to work in some way. And I was nervous also about how the second that your phone number goes into somebody else's phone, you're gonna get recommended to follow that person on Instagram and vice versa, and it's gonna be very easy for those people to find you. That was also a concern, but has also not been an issue. I think people realize in this day and age that humans are complex beings and women are complex beings, and you can be multiple things at once, and it doesn't cancel out a different part of you,
Absolutely.
This is turning out really good. I'm really happy with this so far.
It's beautiful.
It's about the movement that I'm putting in here, I think, is the key.
And on permanence, as we're making our permanent watercolor paintings, it kind of goes back to what we were just talking about with releasing your new EP. Once it's out, you can't unrelease it. How does it make you feel to know that it will exist somewhere forever, even if it's just in the minds of people who had listened to it before?
I feel so nice about that. I think this EP in particular, we tried a few new things, and we've grown as a band, and if people remember it a year from now, I'm gonna feel so happy about it, just because in the last year or so we've had our first experiences of people coming up and telling us that our music means a lot to them, and that's just the craziest thing, because to think that I wrote something that somebody else had an emotional connection with that's just all you could hope for, you know what I mean? So I hope people are still thinking about it in a year. I hope people are thinking about me all the time.
As they should be. And so with music that means a lot to you, and artists that means a lot to you, you covered Shania Twain's That Don't Impress Me Much. Mm-hmm. Has Shania responded to that?
No, she's not responded to that, and that's okay. I don't expect her to. Yet. One day.
TikTok Shania, one day.
TikTok Shania, one day. But yeah, I grew up listening, we all grew up listening to Shania Twain. I think I did a line dance in the first grade to that song. I don't remember any of the steps to it, but the song is permanently exists in a loop in one part of my brain. I did a tree, which is not technically difficult to do, but I had a lot of fun with the strokes of the branches, and it's got a little bit of a sunset going on behind it, and it was the first thing that I thought of when it came to the word permanence, because nature is the most permanent force that I could think of, and also if we don't protect it, then our permanence will be gone as a species. Yeah. I'm gonna take this home and I'm gonna put it on my fridge.
That's lovely.
If I can keep it.
Absolutely.
Sweet. Okay, cool.
I did a drawing of us to represent friendship.
That's
because,
so good.
as the Spice Girls said, friendship never ends.
Wow.
So we're friends now.
We are friends.
And I would be honored if you would have this, but you have to use it as your next album cover.
Yeah,
So
I do have to talk to the band about the album cover. I'm fully on board, but I will definitely put this up in my fridge. I love that you signed it for me.
Of course.
You got my hair so good.
Well, thank you, Shiv, for being on our show.
Thank you for having me, Piper.
And tune in next time to see more artists do crafts.